As you might be aware, there's quite a few of us having suddenly to get to grips with the idea of homeschooling. It's a daunting task, especially when you're working at the same time. I'm particularly privileged because my parents have moved in with us because they can't get back to Portugal, and so are helping with the childcare. But when putting together the timetable, I realised what an opportunity that we've been given at the moment, whether we've got kids or not. Whilst we can't go out and see friends or shop or take part in leisure activities that we were used to doing up until recently, we can spend longer immersing ourselves and our children in something far more wholesome. So I have an idea involving another 19. And just to clarify, because there's been a bit of confusion over why I'm using the number 19, it's my way of creating an alternative and positive response to COVID-19. In my children's timetable, I've incorporated two things that I think would be helpful for all of us. The first is that at 11 a.m. every morning, we're teaching them a Bible story, and each of them creates an A4 illustration to go with that Bible story. Here you can see them doing the creation story. Nothing fancy, just an A4 page divided into 8, with 7 of those squares including a picture of what was created on that day, ending with rest. As a kid, I did this in Sunday school. We would work through the Bible each year, dividing it into 52 stories, so that at the end of each year, each child could take away a collection of all their illustrations, their own Bible that they had created. Here's one of mine that I did when I was little. If you'd like ideas as to the stories that we used, just ask and I'll send you some more details. But my suggestion is that you don't do anything fancy, just work through a story a day, maybe for 19 days. But perhaps we could all take this on in some way. Schedule in a time each day for getting to know the Bible in a way that you weren't able to when you were busier before. Or if we're extra stressed and can't relax in the ways that we used to, perhaps we could create a new habit of soaking in God's Word to help us through an extra stressful time at work. Maybe listen to 19 minutes worth of the Bible being read each day. The 19's just to keep with my theme. Feel free to do less or more. In my last devotion, I mentioned that I think we need to be gentle with each other, but I also think we need to be gentle with ourselves. This is a time of a lot of change and a lot of added stress, and this isn't meant to be another burden to add to your list, but a suggestion if you think that it could be helpful. The second thing that I've discovered that works well for my children is memorizing Bible passages. But more than helping them, it helps me. Mine happen to be at an age where memorizing is particularly easy for them. But we're all encouraged to do this, so that when we're confronted with difficult or confusing situations, we automatically draw on the wisdom from the Bible in the way that we respond. The way we do it, but obviously you've got to find your own way that works for you or your children, is that we create cards that illustrate each part of a passage, sort of like cue cards. We create one card and learn a verse each day. And as we do this, we start getting the whole passage into our minds. We sometimes discuss parts that are a bit harder to understand, but I'm not really going for a Bible study. In time, my kids will grow in understanding. For now, I just want to take this opportunity to fill their mind with wholesome things and to enjoy our time together. Someone said to me recently, Christians that get dementia often forget a lot of things, but often can still remember the Bible passages that they learnt when they were young. Maths and English are important, and don't worry, they are in our timetable too. But if my kids get old and suffer from dementia, I'd rather they remember and are comforted by these Bible passages than that they remember how to do a mathematical equation. So, let's see how we can use this time of uncertainty to ground ourselves in the certainties of God's Word and who He is.
Shall we pray Psalm 23 together?
The Lord is my shepherd. I have everything I need. He lets me your green grass. lead me to quiet pools of fresh water.
He gives me new strength. He guides me in the right path as he has promised. Even if I go through the deepest darkness, I will not be afraid, Lord, for you are with me.
With his rod and staff protect me. He prepares a banquet for me, where all my enemies can see me. He welcomes me on the fifth. He fills my cup to the brim.
I know that your goodness and love will be with me all my life, and your house will be my home as long as I live.